You're listening to 101 Part-Time Jobs podcast, where I speak to bands and musicians about what they've done between making records, between going on tours, the jobs they've had, and the way they've been able to put their art first. I've got Nudista on today's episode. Pilar and Robbie talk to me about their lives in a variety of jobs, getting back to playing shows, and a couple of celebrity encounters. The track beneath this is Confess. You can go and buy it on their Bandcamp today. It's released on Sad Club Records, which is an excellent record label in London. And tomorrow we'll have an episode from John Myrtle, whose album Myrtle Soup is also out on Sad Club Records. East London's Signature Brew have been brewing beers since 2011 with bands like Mastodon, Sports Team, Hot Chip, and a whole bunch of other amazing bands. If you go onto their website, signaturebrew.co.uk, you can get some beers delivered directly to your door if you live in the UK. And with the voucher code 101podcast, all capitals, you can get 10% off that order. All right, thanks for listening. This is Pilar and Robbie from Nudista. Go well. Cheers.
I mean, we've been very lucky because, that last one, we recorded it with a friend in his home studio. So he was kind of like learning and I mean, we liked each other's music. So it was more a collaboration thing. So it wasn't like much lost, to say it in a way. It was just more, the whole process was great and recording with a friend.
So tell me about the start of the band. Where did you meet?
Well, we met a while ago. I don't know what year exactly, but
years and years ago.
Years ago, maybe more than 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But while in uni, we went to different unis, but we had like friends in common, and we just met through friends basically. But we never got to really make music together until we were out of uni, and then I basically just contacted Robbie and I was like, I have all of these songs and I want to develop them, because before it was more for me like kind of singer-songwriter, just like writing music on my own and not really doing them with a band. So it was just more very acoustic stuff, and I would just maybe play gigs but on my own, and I really wanted the whole band experience. I never really had that in Spain. It was always me, just on my own, basically. So I just asked Robbie like, "Oh, you want to play guitar with me? And let's see how it goes." And it was just great.
Did you make that first record in Madrid?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So that we recorded it with my friend Diego. He's in the Parrots, so it's a band, like a surfy kind of band from Madrid. And he has a studio in Madrid, a very, very hot studio, because it was like really
There
warm.
was no air conditioning, and it was like the height of summer in Madrid, and it was so hot.
Yeah, it was so funny. Yeah.
So Pilar, are you from Madrid?
Yeah. So I'm from Madrid. I just moved to London for university, but I lived all my life in Madrid until I was 18. Yeah.
Are there much differences between, because this is obviously a podcast about the kind of jobs you work between making records or touring or just existing and continuing moving forward as an artist or as a band or whatever your art manifests it to be. Obviously, I'm speaking to a lot of people in the States and a lot of people in England.
Yeah.
I mean, what are there any kind of main differences to the way that people make art, from your knowledge growing up, your friends from Madrid to England, differences there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me growing up, to be honest, I wasn't really surrounded by many people that were doing many creative things, if that makes sense. I mean, I was a bit of a loner in that sense, not a loner, but I was on my own making stuff. So I didn't really get to know the community of like people making music until I moved to London, and then I met them by living in London. I met them in London, and then I started meeting these people in Madrid. But when I was growing up, it was just very like on my own, personal, to say it. So it wasn't it was very different. And what I see now of like all of my friends who make music in Madrid, it's just way more affordable. And it's in general in Spain, like life is not as expensive as living in London. So I guess the struggle is different. Yeah, people live a lot like with their parents, or they have like studios in their houses, like parents' houses and things like that, So I guess it makes it quite way more affordable in a way. But I still everyone has to have their jobs. It's like anything, and I guess the struggle in Spain is that it's quite niche. So either you are in the niche, or it's difficult to really, make it a bit full time, I guess.
I mean, is there like an indie rock scene or a kind of
Yeah,
anything like that you can kind of
yeah.
see from the outside? Or
Yeah, it's grown these years. Like these last years, maybe I would say like 5 years ago. I feel like it's boomed, and like so many new bands, so many people making music. I guess because it's more affordable now to just record at home and make your own music. And so in Spain, Spanish people have been adopting that quite well, I guess. So I feel like people are making more music now than when I was younger. I would think when I was younger, it was just like either you get picked up by a huge label, or or no one really hears you, or you play in a little bar or something, which I was doing, but it didn't go beyond that basically. But I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
there's like
guess
there's a
there
really
is.
cool indie
Yeah,
scene
now there
emerging
is
in
like
Madrid, I think.
there's a lot of like indie pop.
But like
They like
people,
synth pop.
Yeah.
yeah, like self-releasing.
Yeah,
And
that's a huge community
okay.
of self.
Yeah,
There's
they're kind of finding
there's
each other.
successful independent artists, I would think, and then there's like the main indie labels that they
yeah.
put like indie rock. Surf was big at some point. Now it's less big, but
Mm.
that would be kind of. Yeah,
But it's like
they're in Madrid. Yeah.
Rodrigo and the Tour Jets,
Oh
like
yeah, true.
uniting. There's these two bands of our friends. Well, Pilar's cousin's band actually,
Yeah,
and
my
then
cousins and then my friend
and our
from
friend who
here.
recorded that EP with us. He's like combined with their band to like create a live band together, which is cool.
Ah, yeah. There's
What are
lots
they
of
called? That's why
collaboration.
they're called the Jets.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like a small community, and people know each other. I don't know. I've met so many bands through making music or just like online as well, and it's like, oh, whenever you're in
Yeah,
Madrid, let's
yeah.
play together, kind of thing. So that's been nice.
I mean, what was it like for you, Robbie, growing up? Like, where did you grow up?
Devon in the West Country. So it's a big mix of stuff. I don't know, there was quite a lot of like punk music from like young people. Like weirdly, just not much to do, I guess. And then no, lots to do. And then there's kind of a bit of influence from Bristol, like when you start playing a bit in the small little towns, you work your way up and do like a few shows in Bristol. Which is cool because that's like obviously like quite an established thing, and that's exciting to do if you're like young and starting out. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of, my friends just always played instruments, so we always just hung out and played instruments.
Wow.
It was great.
That's so cool.
And you got the Cavern in Exeter.
Oh yeah, true. Actually, yeah. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of near. It's a big place, Devon. I'm like real middle of nowhere, out in the sticks. I think that's why also, because when you do find people with similar interests, like my mum had a friend who had a kid who played guitar, and they just put us together because it was like, oh, this guy plays guitar, this guy plays guitar, they can hang out, there's not that much going on.
I find it so funny how that evolves as you kind of go on, because I suppose at some point, maybe it's at uni. I mean, did you study music at uni?
No, I studied fine art actually.
And was that like studying that? Was there an element of? I mean, obviously, it being art, did it have the kind of side effect of, taking music a bit more seriously or writing songs a bit more seriously?
No, not really. I kind of, again, it was like this great thing of I was able to find other people who who played drums or played bass or played guitar, and we could just hang out and do that outside of uni, you know. So that was like, again, like the same thing of like you're in the same place for various reasons, and then we could just go back to mine and like have a jam. But we never really did anything serious. I didn't, throughout the whole of uni, I was just playing a bit of guitar occasionally, and then a couple, and then just you end up making connections with people. Like, so a friend of mine now, they were staying with us for like 6 months on our sofa, and we like played a little bit of music, and then like 4 years later we're still like doing bits and bobs, and because we both stuck around in London. So yeah, it's never really been like the focus, but like just a really great way of
happened.
I feel like saying this now, I feel so lucky. Like, this is great. I haven't thought about it like this.
I mean, it's such a funny thing because, you know, you get someone like myself or anyone else listening to nudista, and is it nudista or nudista? I actually realized I hadn't said that out loud.
Well, in Spanish it's nudista, but in English you can say nudista, I guess. Nudista, yeah.
You know, you'll have someone listen to the record, and you know that will make that person's morning. You know, that really kind of affects someone's day. You know, it's like a wonderful, you know, piece of entertainment. It becomes part of you. You know, when you like a song, and I always find that so fascinating. That on the other side, to make that music, you might not necessarily be taking it as seriously as someone might think you are. You know, and I wonder if that's like part of the fun, part of that kind of that, you know, looseness, I suppose, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like, what's great about Nudista is it's kind of emerged out of just like a really casual beginnings, you know, like over a long period of time. And like all of a sudden we have a band now. We never had a band, now we have a band.
Like a full band.
Like a full band. We've got like keys and synth and drums and bass, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it's always been done through like really nice, friendly connections. Like the last recording we did was through the what was that mixtape we did?
DIY SOS. So we did like mixtape thing. Well, it was it was a mixtape, isn't it?
Yeah.
On Bandcamp that a friend organized. I was to raise funds for Sister Midnight Records in South London, because during the pandemic and all this, so it was just a few bands that we just gave some tracks, and we actually gave a demo of Confess, and we're like, I actually finished like writing that song, and we just decided to do a little demo of it, and we put it in the mixtape thing. And then through this we met Joe, which ended up recording Confess, the actual song, in the studio, and many other songs. And it was, and all online. I mean, we met through this thing. We didn't really know each other, and then we ended up being really good friends. And it's just been everything so organic, like really
super
like
organic.
Not like, it's not like, oh, we haven't really looked for it, did you say, like hunted it around, you know. It's like it's been very nice and organic in that sense of like people reaching out and just like making connections with people and just wanting to collaborate, because I think that's a bit the nature of Nudista.
It's very collaborative.
It's very collaborative. In the end, it was like, it's never been like, oh, I write songs and then, but you know, it's been, now we write music together, now we write stuff together. So
very open to like when we were recording, we were like, if anyone's got any ideas, let's just whack it on, you know. It's very open. So
let this be a notice for anyone who wants to maybe get in touch with you to get in touch.
Please. Definitely. I mean, everyone is so talented. I just love.
Everyone's amazing. It's great.
It's true.
It is true.
It's just great to let people do what they like, isn't it? So.
And London's obviously a massive city, but in a way, musically, it can seem really, really small. I mean, you talk about Sister Midnight. I live on Deptford High Street, and so they were just up the road here.
Oh, nice.
And they're moving to Lewisham, are they?
Yeah, they've
in
got
a
this
bigger
amazing
space.
new space.
Yeah, I think they're racing now.
No, they've got it, I think.
No, yeah, but they're still like raising more funds to be able to get it and stuff.
Yeah.
Fundraising.
But they've like secured it.
I feel like now might be a good time for people to kind of try and suss out venues, because DIY space for London obviously isn't there anymore.
Oh yeah,
and you know, you get a few pubs scattered around where you can put on a night for, you know, without paying an extortionate fee. But you know, those kinds of things we need to really get behind, don't we?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Absolutely.
It's so important, these spaces. And it's something that I loved when I came to London. I remember like when I first found about DIY space, I was like, oh, I need to get involved in this. Such a great space and just everything behind it. And then Sister Midnight, loved it. Robbie actually lived in front of it as well. And so it was just a pretty convenient place.
Oh yeah. Saw some great.
Yeah, no, it's such a great, like the basement, and it was like everyone crammed there, seeing bands. It's just great. It's just like, yeah, whenever you were there, you got that DIY feeling, which, yeah, I guess.
You're making it happen for yourself.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially in the DIY, yeah. Like just as an independent artist or making stuff for you, just.
Yeah, and it's great because it's like, obviously we have like limited knowledge on promoting stuff, obviously, which is why it's so good that Sad Club is involved in this EP, because Toluda is also doing it. You know, like she's got a huge amount of knowledge, but also someone who's doing DIY. You know, but for like putting records out and like kind of signing bands on her own. Like, so that's like another great DIY project, but like helping us. I don't know. It's like it's a very collaborative thing.
Yeah, no, it's the perfect label to have behind, and because it just goes with the qualities.
And that could be such a strong thing, because when when you're doing it for you and your group of friends, you know, people, you know, you're doing it for the love of it, but you're also making something that's real, you know, something really tangible. And I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of, you know, making Nudista go round, I mean, what jobs are you both working at the moment?
Well, we both have full-time jobs, so it's like my full-time job might be more intense than Robbie's. I mean, it's not that yours is not intense.
My job can be intense.
No, it is. I mean, mine is just like very intense every day. But I basically work at Dice, is the ticketing app thing.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like full job. I just work with promoters basically, just for Spain mainly, replying to their emails, just kind of customer service for promoters basically, to put it away. So
oh wow. Yeah. So the shows that are happening in Spain, are you're the contact for a lot of things?
Yeah, for many promoters in Spain, because obviously I speak Spanish, then I speak Spanish to them. Also for the UK, but that was like my main contribution, I guess. So it's been great. I mean, in the end, it's like I'm working with people who love music as well, and it is great environment. That's a plus for me, because it's just
totally
get to see all of these, like know all of these bands, because I just see the listings, so already like knowledgeable about all of the new projects that are around. So that's great.
Yeah. And is it interesting to see how that kind of that promoter world works, that ticketing world works?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think I have way more insight on the industry because of that. Just working in this side of it, I kind of know, what's the deal with promoters, basically. I know it all. No, not all, but I know that.
That's good. When someone tries to rip you off later, you'll know to shout them down.
Exactly. I know what's going on. I know everything. Don't try mess up with that.
What about you, Robbie?
So I'm a receptionist for UCL building, university.
And did you go there? Did you go to UCL?
No, I didn't. I got it like a job interview from a friend who went there and then got a job, and they were looking for someone to do some part-time admin, receptionist role. And then I got it, like, again, like super casual, but it's become like a thing, and I've been there for like, years now, but it's great
You
because
just finished uni now, basically.
No, well, yeah, I was like a year out.
Yeah.
I did a lot of
Brilliant.
awful jobs before that.
Well, same. This is like, you're talking at a moment that we both have a stable full-time jobs.
I mean, it is amazing. A stable job is amazing. Hate to admit it, but the 9 to 5 is useful.
Well, this is the place to talk about awful jobs. I mean, what is there like any particular stories that really stand out about the awful jobs in the past?
Oh, Robbie has fun ones.
I worked on the very early production lines of Huel. You know Huel, the drink?
Yeah,
Protein.
yeah. You see a lot of t-shirts around. Don't you?
Yeah. So I think I was there in the factory for the first year it was getting made, and that was, I mean, just a crazy job being on the production line for that, because it's like 8 hours a day just lifting sacks into electronic sieving machines. Wow. and then packaging things up. And obviously Huel was an instant hit, so the orders went up like every week, and we had these insane quotes to try and reach.
With a tiny factory.
With a tiny factory, in this tiny little factory warehouse in Devon somewhere. And
it's in Devon. I didn't know.
Yeah, that. I think they must have moved now, because I can't believe that place is producing the amount of Huel that is out there, because it was tiny. But I think they've definitely upgraded. But it was originally, it was this little warehouse space.
That's so funny. I mean, when you started working there, it was a sort of a pretty new thing, was it?
Yeah, it was because I was with this agency that there isn't a lot of. I couldn't get very much work in the West Country. I had 2 different factory jobs.
The books one.
I was doing school books as well. But so we that was weird, because that was 4 p.m. to 2 a.m. For like 4 days a week. That was nuts. I lost my mind in that place. Yeah, no, Huel they told us when we walked in, they were like, this is a whole new thing that no one really knows about. It's like you can replace your food with it and blah, blah, blah. And then like next thing I know, like 2 years later, when I moved back to London, it's everywhere.
So you moved away from London for a couple of years?
After uni, because I didn't have my student loan, so I had to move back to my parents' house and get some cash.
Oh, I see. I got you.
And then came back when I got like another temporary job at an art fair, which was like enough.
We worked together. Was it the same year?
No, you and me did this. Yeah, and then Pilar. Yeah, so I did this art fair thing. That kind of moved me back into London, got my rent, and then Pilar. We did the same thing the next year.
Yeah,
I got Pilar a job there.
Yeah, Robbie got me the job in the art fair, distributing of the art fair.
What were you doing at the art fair?
What I was doing mainly, I was in the entrance giving away maps of the art fair and being like information points. That was it was so much. It was like, how many hours were the shifts? They were crazy. They were like 8 a.m. till like 7 or 8 sometimes.
It changed.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was mainly standing up in the entrance. I think you were a runner, no? You were like,
I was a runner.
Yeah, you were bringing magazines from one point to the other.
Bottles of water to everybody. Yeah.
And those things are mad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're crazy.
They're crazy. No. And then you get, what was it, like 1 hour break or less? It wasn't that.
Oh yeah, it was nothing. For like big shit.
Maybe like 10 minutes breaks here and there. But yeah, no, at some point I was so tired. And then, because there was like different teams. And then they had us like 4 people standing up all day, and then there was another team in the book stand or something like that, sitting down all day. And then here I was like, I can't believe I'm standing up all day and other people are sitting down all day. And then I kind of managed to rotate a little bit, and so I managed to sit down a little bit as well. It's like
those places are funny because someone could not sell anything for like a whole day and then make like grands in a few minutes.
Exactly.
I mean, this is the big one. This is like big money, like huge.
Oh, it's a
names.
massive art fair. Yeah, it's for East London, which is massive in in Regent's Park. It was
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So you see like crazy wealth.
Yeah, it's like every gallery in the world.
Wow.
I mean, not every gallery, obviously, that would be a bit crazy, but all of the big galleries.
Yeah.
And you see all of this mental like work being transported. Oh, I saw Rihanna actually.
Oh,
She said hi to me.
No.
Yes.
No way.
I tell to
Amazing.
everyone.
You're so proud.
Oh, yeah, I'm so proud. Well, this is one of the good things about being in the entrance standing all day. That at least I have to say I had a good
Saw the
one.
famous people.
Because I saw the famous people. They put me on the like side entrance where the VIPs would come in, and she had like a private preview. Obviously, she wouldn't come with all the people. And then she came through that door, and I was so shocked. I was like, "Oh my god, this is Rihanna!"
What's your tendency to do? You know, if you meet like someone famous, is your tendency to like chat with them and try and start a conversation?
Well, it was like every gallery person was like next to her, like, "Oh, come here." So you couldn't really talk to her. But I literally started staring at her, like, "Oh my god!" And then she looked at me and she waved. I guess because I was just staring like a freak. I mean, it's shocking.
so
I have
funny.
to say, I'd never seen her that close.
Oh yeah.
She's so cool.
She's so cool.
Yeah. So basically, I couldn't talk to her. I wish I did. But I mean, the people in the fair, they saw us like standing down a little bit, and then they will come to us like, "You cannot sit. No, standing up, sitting down." And then they will come like, "Don't sit down." So they wouldn't really allow us to talk to them, you know. So
I did meet someone really famous once who I met Thurston Moore once in this pub that I was working at. And I went, like, he came in, and then it was just me, and then I walked up to him and was like, "Has anyone ever told you look exactly like Thurston Moore, like identical?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, that's me." And I was like, "Oh my god." And then I didn't know what to say, so
I guess you didn't expect him to be in that pub in Canada.
No, not at all. So I'm no good with it.
He's chatty from what I know.
Oh yeah, he was lovely. He was really nice. I just didn't have I couldn't think of anything to say.
Yeah, what do you say?
That's it. What can you say?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, fun fact, one of my jobs. I think I've been in random jobs that I've encountered all of these famous people. But once, so I was working also during this first thing. I was also working as a check-in person for Airbnb flats. It was like an agency that had like flats that rented for short-term stuff, and I was basically a person who would go to the place and give keys. So I would come to the door and give you the keys, show you around the place, and leave basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know anything about the places until I arrived there. So I would just give you the keys and then be like, "Here at the toilet," whatever. Anyway, but for some reason there was like a few famous people coming through this agency. And I met once one of the Pussycat Dolls.
What? Did you really?
Yeah, and I talked a lot to her.
Amazing.
I don't remember what her
That's
name
great.
was.
Which one?
I don't know. There were like 7, isn't
There
it?
was a
I mean,
lot
there are
of
quite
them.
a lot of them. So I don't know. It was one of them, basically. But
How did you know? Did she say I'm a
yeah,
Pussycat
she said it to me because I was like, "Oh, what do you do?" Because then she was like, "Oh, I'm between London and LA all the time, blah blah blah." And we were just chatting, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm a musician and a presenter, TV presenter," I think she said. And I was like, "Oh, nice. What's your music?" She was like, "Oh, I was in a band called Pussycat Dolls." And I was like, "Oh my god, I listened to your music so much growing up."
I often think walking down like in Soho and in central London, I think like, you know, it's so easy to look up at the skyline or, you know, probably more often actually look down at the ground. I often wonder, you know, if you looked up and looked in people's faces, how many people you'd see. I mean, I met Alan Carr recently and he was so chatty.
Oh, wow.
Really lovely.
Alan Carr chatting.
I mean, obviously it's chatty, no?
Yeah. But so yeah,
Obviously, yeah.
It's not a TV personality then. It's legit.
No.
Oh, so cool.
I'll tell you what, Stephen Fry as well. Stephen Fry was at Soho Radio before we moved studios. And he was just walking out and I just couldn't help myself but to like try and do small talk with him because no one else was around and he was kind of walking through the foyer a bit. And I was like, Stephen, my name's Giles. And I was like, what are you up to? I was like, where are you going? But he was very nice. He held the conversation. You got to appreciate when that happens.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's nice. I saw him going for a jog once actually in Regent's Park.
I always think like where you live does really kind of have an effect on, the art you're making.
This house is, it's like a little cottage, so it definitely inspires us to. And the area, I guess, is just so chill around, very calm, so keeps us in a good mood.
Yeah,
and
we like all of our, like I can cycle to work from here, and like when your office opens up again, you can walk down to the office.
Yeah, exactly. I walk there.
That is a bonus. Nice. Like so, I was in Deptford for like 2 years. That was great. I love Deptford.
Yeah.
But I was just
it's great, isn't it?
It was just a long commute for me, and I didn't want to like give in to the commute. I didn't want to admit that that maybe I should consider moving close to my job because I don't want my job to control where I live. But it's worked out great, and I really like North.
Yeah.
I think it's great. There's a lot of we have a lot of friends around here. Well, we have some friends around here. And
many people live around. It's still great connected to the south.
Yeah.
The overground takes you to the south super quick. So, it's still great. Most of our gigs are also in like Dawson, Shoreditch. So good for gigs as well. That's good.
Good for carrying amps down when the time comes.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that about London bands that, so often, I was going to say in the early days of being in a band, but I wonder if it ever ends if you're playing, in London and you live in London to be taking amps on the train, on the tube or on buses. It's just, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And you're always so worried, like, I'm carrying all of this very expensive equipment around.
Well, it's probably not even that worth stealing it, but it's like it's my only guitar, If that goes.
Well, I'm precious about my guitar, so I don't want it stolen. I got one guitar stolen. I don't want another one.
Oh shit! You did.
Yeah, in an airport.
No. What's the story of that?
It was traumatizing. I don't know if
it was such a beautiful guitar.
It was a beautiful gilt guitar, acoustic. So beautiful.
No.
It was like my first good guitar. And just traveling, I was with my brother, and then I let him carry it, or I don't know. I was like with the suitcases, and then he was like carrying the guitar, and then he just forgot it outside the car. And then obviously I was freaking out because the guitar wasn't in the car, and then we went back to the airport and obviously it wasn't there. I mean, fair enough. Someone is happy with my guitar in Spain.
Yeah. It's not even like a dramatic
story.
It's
not. I was for my brother. I mean, I don't resent him at all.
Yeah, you do.
I'm letting you know now. I don't resent you. No, but at the time I was like, "Where is my guitar? Where is my guitar?" And it was very sad. I was like, I don't know, 18. Yeah, but oh well, it's fine. It's fine. These things happen.
Yeah, these things totally do happen. I mean, I just saw you played the Huel Arms the other night. How was that, getting back to it?
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, playing live again.
I was pretty nervous before going on because, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been months.
It's been months.
Last gig we did, it was only Robbie and me. It was acoustic, so it wasn't even like a full band gig at all. So it was a bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah, but it was really, really nice evening.
Oh, it felt
We supported John Myrtle, who was really good.
Yeah, it's a hot club as well. Really nice. It's just the whole environment was lovely.
I think everyone was just really happy to be out and drinking on a Monday is great. And
school night's always fun.
Great start of the week.
No, it was really nice. Totally. And it was nice playing. This is the first time we played with our band.
Yeah,
you know,
like full 5-piece band. Like before.
and they're amazing.
Wow.
Oh yeah, everyone is so talented, and it's just they just make the set.
Yeah, so it was fun.
We don't add anything, is it?
We're supporting them now.
We're supporting.
And I was going to ask, how does it work with the band? You know, it's they're friends, obviously, and people you have fun playing with.
Yeah.
And we started off the conversation kind of talking about it. But is it just the kind of thing that kind of it's just been rolling, and you've kind of been meeting and people have been kind of joining the live setup as it comes?
Yeah, it's been like that. So at the beginning, early days, it's always been like Robbie and me, like writing, making it, and then getting the full like the live band to play live. But at the beginnings, we had my friend Adrian that I met him through like putting gigs in London, and then he was in various bands. Well, he was in like thousands of bands because
he was amazing. Well,
he's an amazing jazz drummer. He went to Guildhall, so he was like everyone wanted him as drummer, but he's just the sweetest. Wow. And just from the first time I met him, we just became really good friends. And he was like, "Oh yeah, we'd love to play with you." When early days started and everything, and then sadly he left to Sweden because he couldn't afford to stay in London anymore. And now he's just doing great stuff. I think he's doing like a opera thing, no opera, like a theater.
Really?
Yeah. He's doing like live music for like a theater and stuff. Pretty cool. Yeah.
He's gonna go far.
But so when he left, then who played bass then? Oh, you?
Alberto.
Oh, Alberto. Oh, yeah, Alberto. Yeah. So Alberto, our current bassist, he just came to London, like from Madrid, like me basically. He just came to work here, and I didn't know him, but my friend Rodrigo, who's the one who recorded us in Madrid as well, he also has a band and he makes music. He was like, "Oh, you should meet my friend Alberto. He's so nice. I'm sure he will love to play with you," because my friend Rodrigo was in Madrid, and that's through him I met him. We became really good friends as well. He started playing with us. And then Kieran, our drummer, he worked with me actually at Dice. He doesn't anymore, but he's also a musician. He plays in other various bands, and he also wanted to join.
Well, no, we needed to get a band together for recording.
Oh, for recording.
So we didn't have one, so we asked Kieran if he wanted to play drums for us.
Yeah.
And he was into it.
Yeah, of course.
Alberto was into it. So we had to formed a band because we did live recording. And then we didn't even think about gigs. And then at some point we had to do a gig and we asked them.
And they were like, "Yeah, of course." And started like little by little. I'm like, "Can you do this date and this date and this date?" And they're just great. Yes, and the last audition is Eugene, which we met through Alberto because it's Alberto's girlfriend, and met her like just a couple of weeks ago, and she's so amazing. She's just an amazing pianist, and she's never played in a band or anything. And I was like, "Do you want to play with us? I mean, I would love you to play with us." And she was so excited. She was like, "Oh, I've always wanted to play in a band, definitely." So now
that's so good. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, it's just been like people here and coming like that. Yeah, and just great people. Just everyone is so great.
Brilliant. Well, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait. I mean, just finally, have you got any plans for maybe a full length? Is that something that's kind of on the horizon?
We're going to do another, after we put the last thing we recorded, it's an EP. After we put that out, we're going to try and, if it goes well, we're going to try and write another EP. Well, we've got songs.
We've already have.
We've got this. We've got
EP.
Build an EP out of the various bits of material we have.
Yeah, so we have an EP coming out soon. So that's already closed and recorded. Very excited to put out. And then, we just have so much music. We'll put, another EP or a full album eventually.
Right.
We'll see. But, I mean, we're definitely not stopping writing and making music.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
So that was Pilar and Robbie here on 101 Part-Time Jobs. Thank you, Sad Club Records. Tomorrow we'll have an episode from John Myrtle. Here's Sparrer.
I've been working all day for me mate on the side, running around like a blue-ass fly. I've been working all day for me mate. Every bleeding minute I've been on the go, up and down the ladder like a fiddler's elbow. I've been working all day for me mate.
This is a Mighty Moon Media podcast.